Imagine this. You are the vice president of a young, independent Kenya. You sit at the very peak of power, just a heartbeat away from the presidency, and then you walk away.
He was really disappointed with the government at the time.
Murumbi was kind of a child of nobody knew.
On the last day of 1966, Joseph Murumbi walked into President Jomo Kenyatta's vacation home in Mombasa. He looked at Mzee and said, "Today is my last day." Kenyatta turned back, silent, and walked away. Why would Kenya's second vice president, one of Kenyatta's most trusted men, simply quit? The answer lies in betrayal, tragedy, and a vision much bigger than politics.
Mambo?
Nzuri sana.
Your name?
Grace Gude.
Karibu. You are the right person.
Yes.
I was told you were
I was expecting you guys.
His close friend and mentor, Pio Gama Pinto, had been assassinated. Murumbi was devastated.
Why and how did the assassination of Pio Gama Pinto affect his, for example, support for the government at that particular time, and how did it lead to his resignation?
Remember, Pio Gama Pinto is the one who introduced Joseph to politics. So he was a close friend to Murumbi. And this assassination was actually personal to Murumbi. So he felt he lost a brother, you know. It's because of this man, he ended up in politics, and he ended up, you know, rising to the ranks of even being the vice president in this country. So he was really, really disappointed with the government at that time.
He no longer believed Kenya's leaders were putting the common people first.
A lot of corruption was going on, so he decided to take a break from politics and focus on his own personal hobbies.
So instead of chasing power, Murumbi chose something else.
This is Samburu or Maasai, but the Kamba chains.
Oh, the Kambas are
yes,
here. I was like...
He chose to become Africa's greatest preserver of heritage.
So you'll see brass being made in different shapes and forms.
Yes.
They were used as a form of currency. We have cowrie shells that were also a form of currency back in the day. These large iron spears were also a form of currency because, it was given, it was a form of bride price. So once a man married, you were supposed to come with this as part of the bride price.
The value was very high.
Yes, very high.
Joseph Murumbi was born in 1911, the son of a Goan father and a Maasai mother, the daughter of Elaibon, a Maasai leader in Uasin Gishu.
Zuzate himself was an Indian or a Goan. So at the time, the government, when they were constructing the railway, the Ugandan railway, they outsourced labor from India. Murumbi's father happened to be among those who came in at that time. Other than working on the railway, he also owned a small shop in Eldama Ravine. So while he was there is when he met the mother, Murumbi now. She was the daughter of Laibon, and they said she could speak out up to 11 language. Yeah, so I think he liked her, talked to the father who was a Laibon, and I think they gave her the young Murumbi. And yeah, together they had Joseph Murumbi and also other siblings as well. So at the age of around 6 years, the father decided to send him for his studies in India. While he was there, they used to write each other letters, updating him of his mother and other siblings and how everyone was doing. So there was this one time Joseph got a letter from his father telling him that the mother had been eaten by a lion. Yeah, so Murumbi really wanted to come back home when he heard of the news. But the father wrote back to him and convinced him that he will come and visit. So there was a time he went to visit Joseph back in India. And that is when he had the good news that the mother was still alive. So immediately now, a young gentleman, no longer 6 years, so he was now really excited to come back home and see his mom. And he was also done with his studies at this point. So this was the year 1931. Immediately he came back home, he was reunited with the mother, and now he wanted to secure a piece of land. But then the nationality was now an issue. So the father advised him that he could denounce his Asian nationality because his mother's people needed him more. So he took after his mother's nationality. That is why they call him Joseph Murumbi. After now securing the piece of land, together with the dad, they were doing farming. But soon after, the father became ill, his health deteriorated, and in the year 1935, he died. And Joseph, not being so good at farming, he decided to sell off everything and came back to Nairobi. He started looking for a job, and he got his first job with the King's African Rifles Hospital, where we have the current Moi Air Base. So that is where it was located. So he got his first job as a clerk, worked there for a while. Then again, another opportunity came with the British administration in Somali. So he left again, got another job as a clerk. So at that time, a lot was happening in Kenya. People were more aware of their rights. There was now the Mau Mau, and he had a feeling, a premonition that something major was going to happen. So at this point, it was the year 1942. Yeah, so he decided to come back, and he had a close friend, Pio Gama Pinto, a lawyer and also a member of KAU at that time. Yeah, so they used to attend these meetings where we had members of KAU. Whenever he attended these sessions, he will be really active and engaging with questions, asking questions here and there, and Mzee Jomo Kenyatta took a note of him. So he asked Joseph if he could become a member. But before that happened, now the Kapenguria 6 were arrested. And the then Secretary General was also arrested. And that is how, by chance, Joseph Murumbi found himself as the acting Secretary General of KAU.
The trial was a very difficult trial because the British government had already, or the Kenya government had already decided Mr. Kenyatta was guilty, and it was just going through the form of a trial to convict him. The trial was held at Kapenguria, which is about 30 miles from Kitale. It's a little village, and it was held in a schoolroom. And we had to motor every day 30 miles and back again in the evening. We couldn't stay in the only hotel in Kitale, which was reserved for Europeans at the time. We found it very difficult because the government had access to all the witnesses they needed. They actually had a camp in Kapenguria where the government witnesses were housed and coached. We had to get our witnesses from various parts of the country. And it entailed every evening ringing Nairobi and asking our people here to arrange to find these witnesses and send them to Captain Gurria. Naturally, the government, our line was tapped all the time, and they knew who we were after. And we invariably found that when we went to look for this witness, he disappeared. He was not available anywhere. We knew he was locked up somewhere in a camp. He was picked up in order to frustrate the trial. The judge who was conducting this trial had retired, but he was brought in specially for this case. He was well known to be anti-African, and the irony of it is, after he passed judgment that morning, he had to leave the courthouse in an armored car and was not seen in Kenya again.
While they were in custody, so Mzee Jomo Kenyatta requested Joseph to travel out of the country and spread the word about the situation of what was happening in Kenya. You know, so he was to go to Cairo, he was to go to India, he was to go to the United Kingdom, he was to go to the United States, North America. So he only managed to go to Cairo, India, and then immediately he landed in the United Kingdom. The state of emergency was declared. At this point now, it was the year 1952. And now he was a wanted man, and cow was banned. So he had to go into exile. So there was this poster where they wanted him either dead or alive, preferably.
Preferably dead. I love the reward was a lot of money.
$25,000
$25,000 at that particular
time.
Sasa hii ukinipatia mimi na wachana na kazi. Hii ni how much?
Hii sahi tukiconvert
ni 25 million.
Imagine now from that time. When now cow was banned and he was in exile, he could not travel. That is now the reason why he had to go into exile for 9 good years in the UK. Yeah, so he couldn't now proceed to the United States. Among the things he was wanted for is murder, robbery, horse thieving, of which we know it wasn't true. By sheer luck, he managed and they all came back. So while in the UK is when he met his wife, Sheila Murumbi, a young librarian at the time. They got married, and he also got a job with the Moroccan embassy, where he used to do, he got a translation job. So while still in Britain, he was still, spreading the word, talking to people about the situation in Kenya. He was also the one organizing the team from Kenya when the Lancaster House Conference was happening. So he was behind the curtain, putting everything together for the Kenyan team. Fast forward, we got our independence. And now everyone was supposed to come back home and form the new government. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta became the first prime minister. Joseph vied for a position as the member of parliament for Langata South, which he got. He appointed Joseph as the first Minister of Foreign Affairs.
He was the man who set up Kenya's embassies and consulates across the globe.
No one, not in my position, can appreciate the feeling of sadness at this parting with my old friend and comrade, Mzee Kenyatta.
Make no mistake, this has not been the orderly formation of a valid opposition party. There has been no cleavage based on the honorable division in terms of high political principle.
Mzee Jaramogi Oginga resigned from government, and that is how, by good luck again, Joseph Murumbi found himself being appointed as the deputy president.
Jaramogi became a victim of the ideological war of East-West during the Cold War. They bring in Murumbi. Murumbi comes in more because of his weaknesses as opposed to his strengths. Murumbi was kind of a child of nobody knew. You know that? He was a child of a Muindi, an Indian, and a Maasai lady. But clearly, he didn't have traceable origins. You cannot associate him. He tried to play Maasai, Ikagata, even went both land, which I'm told now the president has taken over, in Narok. But it didn't work. He ended up being buried here at a cemetery in Pangani. Otherwise, he could have buried, if he was true Maasai, he could have buried, his soul could be resting in his homeland. That is actually the weakness that qualified him, because Kenyatta did not need another Jaramogi who has a strong community supporting, literally fanatical about him. That was a threat. He didn't want to repeat. He didn't even want somebody from a small community who could have a following, like Rollins, Dr. Rollins Sagini. Dr. Rollins Sagini was among the very first Kishis to get a degree. And he could speak English with a twang in those days. That's it, you can call it. English of the nose with a twang. That was Rollins Sagini for you. So, to succeed Murumbi, they needed another weak person. And the weaknesses they were looking for is weaknesses of character and weaknesses of community of origin, and more qualified.
While in exile in London before independence, Murumbi became a collector.
The African art is amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing, man. This is what we've lost, let me tell you.
This is some of the things that we're now losing.
Yeah.
He gathered over 50,000 documents on Africa.
Look at this beautiful lady.
And the flawless
ornaments.
necklaces.
Oh, this one, the beads were awesome.
Beadwork,
Yeah.
Think about that. One man building a library that has told the story of an entire continent. Not just for himself, but for future generations.
Which one is this?
So this is the Egungun.
Egungun is from where?
Egungun is from the Yoruba community of Nigeria.
You have a lot of Yoruba artifacts.
Yes.
He loved going to Nigeria.
He loved West African artifacts actually. So Egungun is a costume worn by someone who will normally come to pass different kinds of messages. It could be good or bad messages.
Messengers.
Yes. Basically messengers. So they will pass different either good or bad messages to us from our ancestors.
In 1972, together with his wife Sheila and American designer Alan Donovan, Murumbi launched something historic, Africa's first Pan-African gallery. For over 3 decades, it became the largest, most organized supplier of art and crafts from Africa to the rest of the world. This was more than a gallery. It was a stage where African artists, sculptors, and designers finally found recognition.
Wangari Maathai, done by Emmanuel Kariuki. Yeah.
Very nice.
You can see also Uhuru Kenyatta. And this is Karen Blixen.
By the time of his passing, Joseph Murumbi had left behind more than a political career. He had given Africa its memory back. He showed us that power doesn't always lie in politics. Sometimes it lies in protecting who we are, our stories, our art, our heritage. So here is the question. Was Joseph Murumbi Kenya's most underrated leader, or was he Africa's greatest cultural guardian? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you believe more people need to hear Murumbi's story, share this video. My name is Enoch Sikolia, and I am the Kenyan historian.